Fellow Gothamites, Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
I'm sorry to the intro. I completely lost the notes.
All right. Five. Episode 3 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled Penguin, Our Hero. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace, back to me, and explore Gotham.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Dragon. At least I can admit my faults, right?
Right.
It's been a long week. Anyways, so folks, we're back again. As you can tell, my voice is kind of shot. Dragon, I gotta tell you, is a little bit of it's just a little bit of OT banter before we get in. Glass is just disappointing me more and more I think about it, man. It's just like 24 hours later, and that ending has not sat well with me. It's not just the ending; it's the structure. I don't know. It's a good split sequel, man, but it's an unbreakable sequel. It's not doing much for me.
Which has
Dragon, I do really like this episode. This episode is doing something for me. I think I like it a little bit better than you do.
Probably. I mean, I like the one. I don't think it's a bad episode by any stretch. I just feel out of the three we've gotten, still nothing's top number one in episode one. And it has great moments, especially on a rewatch. I think it still has some great moments. But I mean, like I don't know. It's like I feel we had moments where episode 2 was just consistently kind of getting us somewhere. I feel this one maybe. I don't mean less consistent in a negative way, but I mean like I had moments that were kind of like they're really good, and then the rest of it was just kind of okay. We're just kind of weaving the narrative until something big happens, which something really big does happen towards the end. So that's the thing. It's exciting, but just not. Again, it's no episode 1. I don't have to tell you, folks.
All right, fair enough.
All right. That said, I guess we should just dive right into it then, right?
Yeah, let's do it. So we do start with an amazing. I wish I could call it a cold open, Dragon, because it's about as close to a cold open as we can get on this show.
Well, real quick, before we do, I just wanted to call this out, too, because we do have a live commenter, a big fan of the series, a big fan of Gotham, Winter Ives, in the comments, who's I remember at the start of the show, he was also saying this, I should shout out here. This was definitely my favorite episode of the season so far. So, again, Winter Ives is really digging this episode. I respect
You know what? Winter Ives, I'm kind of in agreement with you, man. I'm not that energetic tonight, as you can tell. I'm a little bit my game's a little bit shot because I've been sick for the past week and I feel worse than I felt in the past week, so I'm kind of struggling to actually talk with it. But I personally, in my humble opinion, Dragon, I do think this is the best one. Yes, there's a few contrived moments, but I think especially in the I think all the Bruce and Selena stuff is like so on point that kind of elevates it for me.
Well, yeah, and that again, there's a lot of I'm not knocking any of the stuff in the episode. Winter Ives agrees with you with the Bruce and Selena point, by the way, which I don't blame him for because that's a great point. Yeah, I mean I don't know. Basically, I mainly have one. I have one issue with the episode that I just really can't shake, and I don't know. Maybe that poisoned my first watch of it. I don't know, but again, I think it just kind of takes a while to really take effect. And basically, an episode. I don't know if maybe this clouded my judgment. Basically, the whole episode I feel is doing something with the Penguin, but I think we get a little sidetracked from that, and I'm not quite sure they stick the landing. But more on that later. We'll see where that goes. But speaking of Penguin, where the episode starts. We have a Penguin choir.
Oh man.
I just love the fact. That's it. I'll give this episode major points. We open with the Penguin Choir with this jaunty little tune. So I love right off the bat because I was wondering, okay, so is Penguin Our Hero going to be about him being kind of the hero of No Man's Land, which it kind of gets to that point. But even before that, we have this great kind of sandwich structure of, okay, Penguin Our Hero. It's just here's what cracks me up about. Okay, I love the fact that Mr. Penn, being Penguin's very fastidious, suck up kind of sycophant assistant. He loves to give the Penguin good news, and in giving him good news, he likes to just in giving him the good news, he likes to have. He's trained the workers as a choir to sing just the Greek Penguin in the morning as he gives him good news. Just gonna start the day off right. So you gotta give it to Mr. Penn. He likes to see his boss start the day off right. So I'm gonna give him that. Oh my god, it's just so ridiculous. Hilarious though. It's like Penguin. It's a great. It looks great by the way. It's him coming down the stairs with these workers kind of singing again. These poor workers who've been put through the ringer.
Yeah, so one literally collapses out of exhaustion.
And of course, some of them have died doing that, like basically collapsing the machinery, and they've died. That's even darker.
And Dragon, I love how through this whole thing, like Penguin is chastising Penn, right? But he's doing it with a smile on his face. He's doing it in like the most like Hank Scorpio nice boss kind of way.
Pretty much. Oh god. So Penguin basically so Penguin so again time has passed in No Man's Land. So far we haven't had a major time jump to justify like this many days, because I still wish they do that as a regular device, but I'm hoping that they're saving that for something big. The whole like day this. Like we saw with
they kind of blew their opportunity to make it a fixture of the season in the storytelling department, unfortunately, I hate to say.
Well, that's true, but still, not. We got to remember between the end of episode 1 between the end of episode 1 and 2, that one took place right after the other one, so there really wouldn't make a lot of sense that the day 87, day 88, not that dramatic. I'll give them that. It's.
You know what? I'll take my day 88, Dragon. I don't care.
Look, it would have been cool as well. I'm not. I would have appreciated it, but yeah, you're right. It's would have been cool, but I'm hoping I hope they don't get rid of it completely. I mean, they got to pay that off at a big point at least if they're gonna bring it back sporadically.
Well, I mean, No Man's Land is what, like in the 500s?
What do you mean?
Like the cold open of episode 1, No Man's Land, isn't that like 500 days?
No, 300. It was like it was like 360 something. It was like basically over a year.
I thought it was in the 500s.
No, it's not in the 500s. 300 and something. Okay. Yeah, 308. I think it might be 386. I don't know. It's up there in the 300s. I don't want to go back to it right now. So be official.
Okay.
So. Penguin Nest. Again, a little bit of time has passed. We don't know how much time, but time has passed since the last incursion. So Penguin now, he has more. Basically, we kind of see what Penguin's been up to since the last episode, because he wasn't in the last episode, just talked about, through the Barbara side of things. So Penguin now has more resources. He's got, this is the 500 you were thinking of, Tiki. He's got over 512 loaves of bread. They found a way to make bread, so now they have like over 512 loaves of bread, 2,001 liters of clean water, and 400,232 bullets. And of course, as this is being regaled, a man collapses, and we have this great line by Robin Lord Taylor, which is.
I'm sorry, man. Don't. All
right, we have this great line. It says, "Why, Mr. Penn? Why is my countertenor out cold?" As they're singing, the man collapses. Just cracks me. Like, where's my counter? Why is my sound off now? Before it's like, why is there a man collapsed to his feet? Why is my musical entourage now down one? That's what his main concern is. It's funny.
And Dragon, what I was really hoping for is I understand why we didn't go this route and the scene still plays out in a really fun way, but I was kind of hoping that the countertenor was going to get killed for interrupting the perfect harmony.
That would be cruel yet funny. I'll give you that.
Well, this is a man who killed another man for a sandwich in the first episode.
That is true. But that was a sandwich.
Or technically the second episode, I think, right? Or was it the very end of the first episode? I don't quite remember.
That's the thing. I think it was the very end of the first episode.
All right.
I mean, I know, but now you tripped me up because I was so convinced it was the end of the first episode. Now.
It's either the end of the first episode or the very beginning of the second episode. It's one of the two.
Derive speculates it's day 95. That's kind of what we're working with here. That's a fair assertion. Time has passed since 87. A couple of days have gone by, maybe a week.
Oh.
I don't know. All right. So anyway, we've Mr. Penn tells us that they've been working harder, to kind of with all the bullet production. Hence this this big bounty that the Penguins put on Gordon's head, and of course making all the other resources. And here's the big kicker: they're short-handed, which is why they're overproducing even more. So why they're working themselves day and night. They're short-handed since a number of the other workers and other kind of like associates of the Penguin here have defected to Jim Gordon's Haven. So now the Green Zones has a new fancy like slap a label on it nickname, the Haven, Jim Gordon's Haven. It's not bad.
Yeah, we'll get to the Walking Dead comparisons, which there will be no shortage of this episode, Dragon, trust me.
Anyway, so
Sanctuary, what's the difference? Am I right?
God.
Except the Sanctuary is actually a very bad place you don't want to be. That's the difference. Anyways.
All right, let's see. So he's asking, what about the bounty? And the gangs are disorganized and people love them.
I'm sure you like that line, Dragon.
I did. I won't lie. It's yeah, I feel that. Yeah. So, they love him, and of course, this is great. What kills me about this one, I love about this sets up what I really like about the episode on the whole, especially with the whole Penguin our hero theme. And again, I think they deliver enough on this. Is that we have the idea of Penguin as a failed Jim Gordon, slash the hero of No Man's Land. He considers himself the hero of No Man's Land, the guy keeping things in order, but no, not really. Everybody hates him. That's the thing. He kind of stinks at everything here. People, again, he's got guys. He's basically not treating. He's rich in resources and kind of a hero in regards of producing the resources, but at the cost of the people, which of course is the complete opposite problem that Gordon has. So they're really great reflections in that capacity, and they do kind of learn to have a great arc with that this episode.
Yeah.
All right. So then they're interrupted by another problem the Penguin's going to face this episode. He's interrupted by some random street demons. Just some street demons kind of coming in, attacking him. Of course, it doesn't go well for him, and he interrogates this street demon. This picks up from the Riddler story last episode, where just to simplify it a little, I guess, the street demons, because Penguin was here, was graffiti, very Batman 89-esque if you really think about it now. Like, yeah, Penguin was here, Joker was here. What's the difference? So it was.
I'm still convinced that was Riddler trying to frame Penguin. By the way,
which we'll see. I mean, there's nothing in I guess there's another way to go about that theory, but I think smart money could prove that. Yeah. So let's see. So Penguin, Penguin points out to him like, no, if it were me, if I wanted to start a gang war, you'd all be dead. He says, "Oh yeah, we didn't really think that through." He says, "No, you didn't. That's why my men are be ripping your fingernails out when we're torturing you. Now, chain them up." So let's see. So, okay. So Penguin's response to this is, "Okay, Penn, raise the borders. No one in or out, or it's your head." Now we have this adorable.
That's right, Edward. It's Mr. Penn's head.
The pressure's on Penn, to say the least. There,
this is weird. I'm sorry, like the Selena scene is good enough. It really is, and I love Selena in this episode. This honestly might be one of the best Selena episodes we've ever seen. But man, we really should have cut to title after that bit with Edward the dog. We really should have.
Yeah, that's sometimes Gotham. They just don't know when they cut it for the cold open,
Vince Gilligan on the sidelines. He's like, "Here, guys, let me give you one of those huge awkward sandwiches from that one scene in The Social Network, and I'll explain to you how this is done."
Right. Let's see. So Selena. Speaking of Selena, so we got the Selena. Selena's having a nightmare about Jeremiah, kind of the trauma that she suffered there, which kind of sets Selena suited up and on the prowl. She looks great. She's got these kind of these claw gloves now, and of course, she's got the whip. She's all there, man, and she looks awesome.
Really, the only thing missing is ears.
Pretty much, pretty much. And she's jumping off the she jumps off the building, kind of classic, kind of Catwoman shenanigans. So the point is, like, she's on the prowl for revenge. We're gonna check back in with her.
You know what? Jumping off the building is a good cut to the title. I'll give it that much.
Yeah. All right. So meanwhile, let's go to Haven.
Meanwhile, on The Walking Dead. No, I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm sorry. This Haven stuff. It's like, I'm sure it's ripped out of No Man's Land and whatever. I'm sure. But man, totally, and just visually, it feels so similar to The Walking Dead for me. I'm sorry. It's really giving me some deja vu, buddy.
God. All right, so Haven. So Haven's filling up. Basically, we had some exposition from Bullock here. And by the way, I think actually I'm going to give more credit to Winter Ives here. I think he's nailed down to his science here because Harvey at some point said a week, and you can add the days from going from episode 2 and such. Looks like 95 days might be a good estimation of time. I want to give so 80, but it looks like it's been 95 days. Anyways, with this whole Harvey exposition,
I kind of noted that down as like a. Like a nice, it's approximately 1 week later. That's like some good TV, it's like TV how your mom used to make it.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. So Bullock informs Haven's filling up. Basically, ever since the Green Zone's been established, even gave it a fancy name. So time's passed, and now it's filling to the brim. And as we've learned, a lot of Penguins guys are defecting there. A lot of gangs are starting to defect to the place. And like, okay, look, we're sorry for attacking you. Let us in. Says, all right, sure, but we get your guns and your weapons and stuff. Which they don't say that. I'm filling the blanks there, which I'd be a fair assessment. Anyway, so this place is filling up, even with the ex-gang members. And of course, words got. I presume they kind of imply that words gotten around ever since Gordon saved the kids. Ever since their little adventure to the Dark Zone, words gotten around. People are filled with even more hope, and again, kind of like going to the Haven. Bullock, meanwhile, he's worried about 2 things. One, he's worried about retaliation. Now they have this big old fancy kind of like Haven set up. It's kind of a prime target for anyone who wants to drop by, and they're low on ammo after the little Dark Zone adventures. I mean, even all that, like they mentioned, even with all the Penguin ammunition, that's running low now because we had that big old shootout adventure going down there. So now we're really running low. And Jim, the other thing is that Jim's not turning people away, so it's all on his shoulders. He's not turning people away, and as Bullock points out, the other problem here. Gordon hasn't slept in months, apparently, since No Man's Land started. Of course, it makes sense. Where around the clock, you can't. It's like military thing. You can't. Sometimes you just can't. You can't sleep because the enemy's all around you. Sometimes, and of course, you have people to worry about. Security issues, the whole shebang. So it's all on his shoulders, and Bullock's worried that we're basically putting all this on one man, which is a dangerous thing. Of course, and I like that we're continuing this, Tiki. We've set up that, again, as the government's worried about Gordon getting killed because he's the only one who's doing their job for them. So if he goes, the city, their big icon, pre-Batman, is gone, which means they're in a world of hurt.
And then this conversation's happening basically as Bruce is kind of lurking in the background, by the way.
Pretty much.
Like, yep, I'm here. Hello.
So anyway, basically Gordon's just kind of soldiering on as he tends to do. Let's see. So Gordon, he's let's see. So then we have good news. Bruce. Speaking of which, Bruce, he's used some Wayne tech to basically kind of work up this little kind of water distiller thing. So basically, they can filter water and kind of distill it. So now they have like a way of making fresh drinking water, which is very useful. Thank you, Wayne Enterprises. The drop in the bucket, but goes a long way. And before Bruce can kind of say any more things here, we have a fight breaks out over beans, Tiki, over the GCPD's beans.
Not the beans.
The beans. Remember, the beans are a big deal. Everyone wants those beans. Even Scarecrow's goons want those beans, man. Those are recovered Wayne. Those are Wayne Enterprise beans. Remember from the food drop.
Oh God.
Those are new beans, man. Anyway, sorry, we're joking around on the beans there. Anyway, so Gordon breaks up a fight with Ryan, kind of a little establishment of the rules of the Haven.
I have this written down if you want.
Tell the folks.
For all the new people here, everyone is welcome in Haven, but there are rules. Hold on. And one of them is we leave the fighting outside. Government already thinks we don't deserve help. We have to show otherwise.
It's a good line. It's a great line, Gordon. Just saying, screw the government. We're our own government here this time. That's a.
And then basically says gangs want to tear us apart. That's their business. In here, in Haven, we help each other survive.
Yeah. Then we have this great bit, and oh boy, I love these sorts of bits here. Jim confides to Bruce that he's worried about everybody finding out that officially the government has abandoned. It's basically it's a matter of time before that gets around. That the government basically again the government has done everything but officially said that they're abandoned. They're on their own. They basically have implied it, and basically they're not helping at all. We have this great line where Bruce, and this kind of fills me with some glee here, like, oh my goodness, this is wonderful here, where Bruce says, Jim, you're holding this place together. You're giving these people hope. And Gordon's response, very humbly, your hope can only go so far. Again, that's one of those great moments of like, it's the dynamic between these two guys, and of course, it's the fact that Gordon's not enough. We need that icon. We need a bigger, more omnipresent symbol. We need a Batman. It's like one of those great moments.
Yeah. Also, at this point, David Mazouz is officially taller than Ben McKenzie.
I know, right? I know. That was what we do. It's like, yeah. And we had that bit like last season where it says, oh, man, you've gotten taller. Like, it was either season 3 or season 4. They had, like, they go to the diner that one time. It's like, man, you've gotten taller. It's just, oh, man.
It really stands out in the Shaw Dragon, I think, more than we've seen before.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Again, I don't know if they're just intentionally trying to make him look even taller than he was before, because he already pretty much measures up to him, but he looked a little taller,
Oh.
Okay, so let's see. So Bruce also kind of drops some more on Gordon's plate here. He tells him about Will Thomas. Again, this Will Thomas kid, we got some speculation from the crowd later on here. We'll see if we're going to be able to talk about that later on. But basically, Winter Ives has teased some interesting stuff about Will Thomas. We're going to get to a little bit later, supposedly. But yeah, so Bruce tells Jim that Will Thomas, he's having nightmares ever since, again, being freed from kind of gang slavery, which, I mean, if I were you, I'd give me nightmares too. Kid's toss and turn. He's on a bunk bed, which is not an ideal place to toss and turn. Falls, broke his arm. Kid's not doing that great. So we have this really nice scene where Bruce watches Jim comfort this traumatized kid. And I got to tell you, Tiki, this scene warmed my heart in many ways. It warmed my heart in the way that, oh my goodness, it's not only is it kind of our Batman and Gordon figure here, kind of bringing hope to a kid. It's Bruce Wayne seeing Gordon kind of pull the magic that he pulled in the pilot. I mean, that to me is really nice.
Right.
Like him watching comforting a child who's been traumatized by crime in Gotham. Man, that warmed my heart. Like, oh man, that's what it's all built on. That's beautiful. So basically, Bruce is relating to the kid, and Gordon says, like, I promise I won't let anyone hurt you again here. And he this is a really sweet bit where he gives it has kind of a weird, funny payoff, but it's just like he gives him. I thought it was so adorable. He gives him his rations. Like Gordon's like not taking for himself at all. He's trying to help so many other people. He gives him a few of his rations, which is a little. I just love how small the can is. Honestly, I don't know why. I just love it's like this pocket-sized.
No, I like that detail too. It goes to show just how little they're living off of.
Yeah, just a little thing of pineapples gives him that. It's a very year one kind of. It's a stretch here. I remember, in year one, you have this bit where Gordon saves these kids and he gives them like gum. It's like one of those moments, kind of like a year one. Like this guy can make a good father. One of those things. Gordon's dynamic with children. All right. So, and of course, this moment too, just last thing was that it helps form the Batman mission to an extent, reinforms that because the whole mission of Batman is protecting kids from tragedy and safety. It's preserving that safety and protecting them from tragedy. So again, it's kind of the whole thing that reinforces the whole Batman idea. It's kind of nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you take us through this bit. I'll be right back. Take us through Selena dropping by.
Okay, so Selena, she is out and about, just kind of walking around. And Bruce, being a little bit overprotective, he's just like, Selena, the doctor says that you need some rest. And, Selena, she feels fine. In fact, she feels better than ever after taking whatever the hell it was she took from Ivy back in the last episode. And not only does she feel fine, Selena's out for revenge. She's looking for the freak that shot her. She wants to get in her dues with Jeremiah. And of course, Bruce doesn't want her to, exact any sort of fatal revenge. And he's also kind of telling her, look, I've been trying to find Jeremiah for months. It's not looking good. I don't know. I don't know exactly how we can even find him, how we can even go about doing that. Selena asks if he's scared. Bruce says, of course he's scared.
Yes.
Okay, you're back. Good.
Yeah. So Bruce is so Jeremiah's had months to fortify himself, and Bruce is worried not only about Jeremiah, but the whole Selena going after Jeremiah after what he's done to her. And of course, we have that great "I'm not yours to lose" line that's been in all the promos and everything, kind of cementing that, oh boy, Selena, she's kind of getting more independent here, and she's definitely on a path that's diverging from Bruce's. Kind of the big breakup episodes are coming. It's a formulating. And we had that really beautiful moment. I really love this really cute moment that kind of, and I kind of read into it two things. We have this moment where the two, she kisses him, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I love this moment too, Dragon. This is classic Batman Catwoman banter right here.
And importantly, again, it's showing kind of like them, kind of filling those roles where she kisses him, and again, it's a very, again, by the ages they're at least. It's kind of a seductive Catwoman move here, but at the same time, it's kind of still based on the friendship, versus I was hoping I could count on you. And again, that's as you said, classic kind of Batman Catwoman 101 with their dynamic. But also, I'd like to read into it. That's the kind of the unhinged quality of the ivy plant, of the seed that kind of fixed her, because there was a warning of kind of the dark angels and getting kind of the basically might bring about more kind of Catwoman-y moves. Since she's back on her feet. So I like to think maybe on some subconscious level it's motivating some actions like that. But I don't know. It could be natural. It's nice.
I mean, the way I read it is that I just think that she just thinks they're on such different wavelengths right now in terms of she knows that she's gonna kill Jeremiah and there's nothing that Bruce can do to stop her, but at the same time she's gonna use it for what he's worth, and she just kind of, at this point, she almost thinks it's adorable that Bruce is, exploring the idea of turning them into the authorities at this point. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I can see a bit of that there too. Yeah. All right, so they get a lead on to kind of summarize a little here. They get a lead on Jeremiah. That he's held up in the dark zone. In the dark zone, since Jeremiah is kind of settled
there.
Can I
just say this random actor is really damn good.
He is, and this poor guy here. He's telling us that the dark zone that Jeremiah kind of presides in is on the complete other side of the island. It's full of chaos and it's ruled by the insane and Jeremiah's followers. And then we have this really haunting bit where he's more like, no, it's Jeremiah's the least of your worries. Worries like as his followers, as maniacs, and of course he was, look what they did to my friend, and of course his friend they pull a blanket off and reveal something really scared me. I gotta be honest, like kill carved into the guy. Scary. I hope they didn't shoot their load on doing like a ha 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 thing carved on a guy with this. That's the thing. It's kill, which fits who they introduce later, but still, I don't know how much of a precursor that is versus just how much of we can't write ha ha on a guy like that. We can't do that.
I don't know, Dragon. I think that might be it.
Yeah, I have a feeling too.
Yeah. I mean, just because I don't know if we're going to see any more bodies carved up at all. I think this might be a one and done deal.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, I'm sorry. Forget the ha 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 thing. I remember actually what I was thinking of. Here's what I'm worried about though with the kill thing. I'm worried that we're not going to see Victor Zsasz with like all the tally marks on him now.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
I'm worried we're not going to see that. I'd love it if we still got to see that. I'm still theorizing that Zsasz goes crazy along the lines, and he's all he's back to kind of the raving maniac that he's kind of in the comics, with all the just walks around shirtless, all the scars on him and everything. I don't know. We'll see. I was hoping he gets that run in with the Scarecrow, gets fear gas, and then it's all crazy from there, but we'll see. All right, so Penguin. What happens?
So, there's only one person left in Penguin staff. Do we have a name on this woman, Dragon, or is it just the maid?
No, Tiki, we have a name on her. It's Olga.
Olga! That's right, that's right.
Yeah, she's been around since the whole Riddler relationship in season 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
But I like that there is some sort of loyalty. Yeah. I always like to think that Penguin kept her around because it was kind of vaguely reminded him a little bit of his mother. I always kind of like to think that with Olga, but that was just me. So, by the way, I forgot to mention. Speaking of Penguin's mother, I love that he named the choir the Gertrude Kabuput Memorial Choir.
Right.
That was nice. It was a nice little tribute to her. Anyway, so Penguin in this very Batman Returns looking outfit, by the way, it looks very much kind of like the onesie that the Penguin wore in Batman Returns, but kind of by kind of a Gotham kind of filter. Basically, it's a classier version of it instead of like this big form-fitting, ugly-looking thing from Returns. Just going around. This is, where are they? Where the Ben? He says, they all left. Where's my dog? They took my dog. Rumor is the dog even left willingly.
Oh, God.
So as a Penguin, he's just like, no! This is the thing, Robin Lord Taylor. He's so good in the role at this point. He doesn't really have to do that much if you really want to put it under a microscope. All he has to do is shout something and just lose his mind completely. He's always hilarious, and it's always just enthralling, like, lies! So Penguin, oh, this is great here, what he does here. So he goes down to the torture chamber. And he grabs the street demons. He makes a very bad decision here, but he grabs the street demons all like kind of buddy with them. Listen, I've had some time to think. And I'm going to forgive you and work. Basically, I'm going to forgive you and work with you. I'm going to let you live. And of course, this other guy is dead, so it's hilarious. Like that, he's been dead since yesterday. I was just like, this is a few of the street demons left. Yeah. Sarah, do you want to chime in at all on that, or?
Right. Yeah. So they make a plan to attack the Haven. Dragon. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of wise. So.
Right. Anyway, so boys, like Penguin's now teamed up with three gangs. Which, by the way, we got confirmation on the name of the Schumacher gang. They actually have a name. They're the Undead. We have the Low Boys, the Undead, and the Street Demons.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So of course, with Penguin's bullets, which is a very lethal combination, and bullets being the big commodity, they're going to visit the Haven, and they're going to, of course, Penguin needs to put on some clothes first because he just looks like Batman Returns right now. So we got to change that. So. Alvarez, who, by the way, he survived. Alvarez. They really like that.
I didn't even notice it was Alvarez delivering the news. Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's there with Bullock mainly delivers news, but Alvarez is there. He starts it off like, hey. By the way, Alvarez, I think it's J.W. Cortez. He's a real life cop, by the way. He's a real life New York cop who does the show on the side, and I believe he also has some military experience too. So they keep Alvarez because they like him, and I respect that.
Well, I'll be damned. The more you know.
And technically, Alvarez is from the comics, the New 52 specifically. So more you know. So anyway, so Alvarez and Bullock they give Gordon the bad news about Penguin's on his way, and then here's where I run my issue with the episode. So Gordon sends Bullock on a mission to get their one friend. Who again, I had two guesses as to who that one friend was. One was Barbara, which we're going to see how that turns out later, The other, Victor Zsasz, because we still have that bit, and I'm waiting for Victor Zsasz this season. I was wondering, oh my god, it'd be great if it was Zsasz, but I'm not going to let down by the fact it wasn't Zsasz, but still, it's just a little fun thing.
I thought the fact that it was Barbara was a little obvious, just given the fact that we already kind of had, the shaky alliance between Jim and Barbara last episode. So, yeah, I think it being Zsasz would have been a lot more narratively satisfying, but then again, we do get a really fun scene between Bullock and Barbara later on that we'll get to. So,
all right. So more on that later. Okay, so Bruce and Selena, this is great here. They're walking down the dark zone. We have this great banter about the dull zone. So then brings a smile on Bruce's face. Such a rare thing because in life, even when he's Batman, I love that. The only time Batman can really kind of let his guard down, kind of have fun being a vigilante with Catwoman. So that's a great little kind of. Again, we're kind of setting that up here. Where she's saying, he's just smiling. What's so funny? He says, "You seem yourself again." It's a rare happy moment for the boy. Such a rare happy moment. So let's see. So they use all right. So basically, they're exposed. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They used. We have this dialogue here. It says, "Oh, this used to be the posh part of town." And of course, Bruce says, "Oh yeah, they all left." He says, "Why didn't you?" And well, this is beautiful. I had a compelling reason to stay. Nice. So then, of course, so basically that sweet moment and all this happiness is very brief and very, very fleeting, folks. So get used to it. Just say, wave goodbye to it, wave bye-bye to it, because now a man walks down the street, duct taped, and of course, the instant is to help this guy. Thankfully, Selena stops Bruce before he gets too close, and they duck behind a car because this man has a nail bomb attached to him. And folks, I mean a nail bomb. I mean it blows up, and like all this shrapnel of nails. Like if they weren't behind that car door, it'd be curtains, folks. My God. So the dark zone, it's not the dull zone after all. It's very dangerous and very like I want to turn the other way and run. That's kind of part of town we're at right now. So basically, so then we see a gang that's now very predominant in this area that very much is kind of simpatico with Jeremiah. I'm not sure they're direct followers of the points. These guys are kind of living it up in this part of town. The mutants. Tiki, we got the mutants. Can you believe it?
I'm not really that familiar with the mutants, Dragon. I'm sorry.
Dark Knight Returns, the mutant leader.
Yes, I know it's Dark Knight Returns. I know. I'm not as into it as you are.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't really. Again, it's a choice that I'm not really. I don't really think makes a lot of sense, but it's kind of cool.
Here's the thing, Dragon. I think that these characters in particular, especially like the big muscly headband guy, just really, really cheesy.
Well, I mean,
so it's like I don't really care that it's the mutants. To me it's I don't know, it's just the execution. This is like probably my least favorite scene in the episode just because the execution is a little bit off.
Yeah, what's funny? They had this weird thing in season 2 where they mentioned the mutants, and it kind of made us think, oh man, they might kind of have this sect of kind of set up the mutant gang from Dark Knight Returns, and they did nothing with it. So now they brought it back. When they brought it back, they actually did like the verbatim mutants from Dark Knight Returns, and it's just one of those things where, yeah, doesn't make a lot.
I like where we go with it with Selena. I like the ultimate payoff with it, but I just think the dialogue from the one big guy is just I don't know, man. It's pretty darn cheesy.
You're not wrong. I mean, basically, that's the thing. I just think they just did something for the heck of it, an Easter egg for the heck of it with the mutants. Like, it could have been any gang. They just made it the mutants, which, I mean, I don't know. It's like, if you're going to, it's kind of one of those things where No Man's Land has so many, like, no-name gangs. And, like, why don't you give them a recognizable name? So, by that logic, it's like, it's just it's the last season. Why not? It's like one of those things, And the main thing I liked about it is I love that the mutant leader does look as practical as you're going to get with the mutant leader. It's a big guy with they all have the visors, which I geeked at. But oh my god, he's got the visors and he's got the razor sharp teeth. He's I don't know, looked cool. More so, the action sequence is really well done. So we have, basically kind of the classic Batwoman. Sorry, that sounds like the shipping name. We have a classic Batman, Catwoman, kind of back to back. They're on the same side, sort of fighting. Sort of great little team up fight. And these are, kind of the classic for these two kind of fighting side by side together. And I mean, the dialogue's based on, they had like, the futuristic kind of slang, like, chicken and eggs, licking legs, stuff that made no sense. And it's like the old slang they had in the Dark Knight Returns. They have like chicky chick. I don't know. It's got something stupid.
Here's the thing, Dragon. I got that the slang was kind of emulating Dark Knight Returns. That's the thing. It's just, to me, it felt off. It like, I got that it was a Dark Knight Returns homage. I really did. It just, it didn't, like you said, it didn't feel necessary. I feel like, honestly, I feel like the Schumacher gang would have fit in just as well here for this scenario.
Yeah, that's fair. And again, I'm not defending it full-heartedly or anything. I'm just saying it's kind of like a little neat call-up. But you're right. It's not like doing it all. It's kind of in the middle, not doing it all the way. And what's the point? But it's kind of like, it's kind of cute, I guess. I don't know. Hey, look, the mutants. But yeah. All right. So, anyway.
Honestly, Dragon, this is going to sound mean, but to me, it's almost like a red letter media. Like, I clapped because I know what that is. Like, it just kind of felt superfluous in that way to me, a little bit.
All right. Anyway. So, let's see. So then we cut to, basically, as that fight's getting started, we cut to Penn. Mr. Penn, this cracks me up. I hear this
is great. This is like one of the best time gags of the episode.
Here's the thing. I love this gag, but I really wish, here's the thing. You don't really get to hear the song that well, so if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss this great joke here. Okay, that's the thing. So, Mr. Penn, because he's so grateful. He's teaching the choir. He's teaching the choir a new song about Jim Gordon. It's like, Jim Gordon. It's hilarious. But that's the thing. It's like you can barely hear it like the other one. It's like, oh, I got such a great joke. Anyway, so then it's interrupted by the Penguin and Company kind of dropping by.
I'm sorry. I love the timing of, he's just like, Captain Gordon, what's going on?
He just says, get inside. Everybody get inside.
Then the motorcycles roll in.
Yep, and of course we have the important detail of Gordon telling everybody to hold their fire because, again, bullets very, very valuable commodity. And Penguin's dropping by and says, "You stole my people and my dog." And of course, Gordon just retorts, "Oh, this is they came of their own free will." And of course, it's this pathetic, hilarious. I love this joke so much. It's so simple, but I don't know. I think it's funny here where Penguin's calling his dog. He says, Edward, with this look, only a look that Ben McKenzie could deliver here. McKenzie's just giving this look of like, yeah, your dog abandoned you. Yeah, just what you just gives it in a look. You're just like, yeah, Oswald, this is just sad. The dog left you. Stop, all right. It's just like, with a look, he just communicates all. He just gives that shrug look, like, I don't have to tell you.
Like, part of the look is just him reacting to the fact that the dog is named Edward.
Yes. Anyway. So Penguin's making demands on return my people, my dog, and an apology. It's a little fact he wants an apology. He didn't do anything. They all and an apology. Or we're going to destroy your little commune and salt the earth. Of course, Gordon says no. And Penguin, I love this. I love Penguin says, hey, essentially he says, I know about what happened last episode. You're low on ammo.
Right.
Of course, he says, you want to call our bluff? And of course, we have, Gordon, very strategically, by the way, kind of goes a little unnoticed. Very strategically, he opens the first line of fire to show that we're not bluffing. And of course, so now he's trying to hopefully kind of bluff him into not attacking. He says, test us. My men could use the target practice. And Gordon putting on a good front here. And again, he's in a very desperate position when people know that you're low on bullets. It's a very dangerous position to be in. Meanwhile, so as that situation's heating up, we cut to Selena versus 300 pounds of ugly, as she calls it. But yeah, I love this. And Tiki is a great kind of like a great thing, classic kind of Batman Catwoman fighting style here. Kind of Catwoman going up against a big guy, and Batman going up against literally everybody else.
Right.
Literally, he's going up against everybody else. So let's see. So basically, as he's taking all these guys, it kind of builds to a great moment here where Selena she gets the upper hand, and she's kind of got the mutant leader pinned. I'm sorry, would you like to take us through this bit?
Yeah, we saw it in the trailer a little bit. She's just kind of slicing into the dude's face, kind of a where is he? Classic Batman sort of interrogation style, but taking it a little bit too far.
Reminds me of Year One, by the way, like when because she used in Year One, she had a signature like scratching people's faces that showed Catwoman had been there. That was her signature.
Yeah.
It's a little. It reminds me a little bit of that, like the whole just scratching the face like that. And of course, if you want to be, if you want to be super like kind of like the Gotham PD, if you will, you go all the way back. Yeah, Selena in episode 2 of Gotham, she scratched that guy's eyes out before she even had claws. Remember, it was all creepy and stuff, and the guy went blind and they shot him. That whole thing.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yes, but anyway, it builds this great moment here. It's one of my favorite bits from the trailer. Oh my god, I love this bit. So as she's losing her mind on this guy, basically interrogating him, she gets her answers. Old town north and everything. Bruce he speeds up and he's taking down the guys here before Selena does something she can't take back. He uses the grappling gun that he now has a holster for, which is great. He uses the grappling gun, grapples her arm, stopping her to last, and she's like, "What the?" It's great. That was oh man, he's using the grappling gun now, and it was delightful. So then we have this great. I just love how she did something so horrific in the end, really scary here, and then she just has this great line of "Old Town North." That was easy. He wasn't that. He's just slapping the guy all playfully. It's like, yeah, that's Catwoman for it. Again, she's channeling it, man. Again, before the Carmen Bykondova, she's always been good in the role. And now it's like Mizzou's. Like now they're so close to the end, and they're just, they're becoming those characters even more than they have before. It's delightful. So Selena's dark side's coming out, and Bruce is obviously concerned by this, and of course that's going to definitely rear its head going forward. Meanwhile, Penguin. Back at the standoff.
Right, so Penguin's ordering 3 people to go out first to fire away into this one guy who looks really badass. He's got like some skeleton war paint on and like a red and black mohawk. He's like, but they have guns.
So do we, and mine's loaded.
The skullhead guy just kind of gives a look like, all right, man, I get it. I don't want any trouble. You're the boss.
Of course, and again, this is a really a gutsy move here. Where again, Penguin, of course, he loses nothing because these are his enemy anyway, so they all get shot. And,
right.
And except then, of course, and Tiki, this is the first time it's happened. It's almost like a Spider-Man web shooter thing we keep track of now. It's like something you can keep track of more than that, but it's kind of it's kind of a sort of like the big danger of No Man's Land, the big appeal of No Man's Land. You're going to run out of bullets, and so far, guys have made do with it. But now they're in a situation where they've run out of bullets mid-firefight, and they're in trouble. And Penguin knows it. So this is very bad for him. So again, it's a kind of a great moment. That's kind of remind people of in the episode here. Where it's like, yep, danger of No Man's Land, folks. You do not want to run out of ammo or get into a firefight when bullets are a very valuable commodity.
Mm-hmm.
So GCPD's out of ammo, therefore they're in trouble. Therefore, Gordon has to surrender, even though he doesn't want to. He has to surrender the Haven to Penguin and his cronies. So, cutting back from that, so time passes. Initially, I was afraid I was going to have a big issue with it, but it was a false alarm because again, time just actually is passing here. Where it's later, it's night, it's dark out, and Bruce and Selena they're having a little walk and talk in darkness. And I love that Selena's showing off here. By the way, again, more of a free spirit since the a little bit more of a free spirit since the seed healed her. Now she's just kind of like jumping on cars when she doesn't have to. Again, very Catwoman like. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I really like the acrobatics at play there.
Yep, and basically, Bruce is trying to give her kind of the as the tick in the Amazon tick series called the talk of like you didn't have to get that brutal, you didn't have to the whole like murder. It's just not cool, Arthur. Like one of those. Or Bruce says, you didn't have to hurt him like that. You almost killed that guy. Or her philosophy. And again, this is a thing with Catwoman too. Sometimes in the comics, Tiki, like Tom King has done some really interesting stuff with this too, where Selina's not afraid to kill people. She's not necessarily a killer, but she's willing to go that route. And sometimes there's things where she has a body count and Bruce has to get past that. So that's kind of a thing that's been in the comics sometimes. So like she's not above murder, but she's not more thief before murder. But again, you go the Michelle Pfeiffer route, murder's on the table. That's kind of what they're doing here. So it's kind of in the middle of all of that.
Uh-huh.
So Selina here, she says, well, he tried to kill me, therefore. Basically, he tried to kill me. As far as I'm concerned, he got off easy. Whose side are you on? The Antigua. This reminds me of, again, I feel so sad now that it's gone. Reminds me of the Telltale Batman games where you're faced with these sorts of questions. And again, the Catwoman Batman dynamic, as you know, and you played the first one, it's a huge part of that game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'll probably never get to play the second one because, now that Telltale's under, they're probably not going to port the second one to Switch.
And I figure if it didn't come out last year, Tiki, it's not going to happen. So
yeah,
one of these days, you should check out the cinematic. Again, it's going to be murder to check out the cutscenes and all, Tiki, because you can have all sorts of different versions of it.
No, I know. That's the thing. It's like, yeah.
I feel bad for you on that front. It's like, oh, man, it's not even just simple, just watch the one and
yeah, maybe one day when I get a better laptop, I'll check it out on PC.
Yeah, because the follow-up's really good, too. Anyways, the point is, it reminds me of the Telltale games. It gives you the decision, are you on Selina's side or are you not on Selina's side? And we have this great line of, yours, always. That's a nice line. All right, so, oh, yes. So we have this great bit here. So, okay, let's just do what we've come here to do. And you have this great hesitation on Mizzou's here, where you can see, oh, boy, he's worried about her here because, she's definitely can tell there's something going on there with Selina. She's definitely off, and we kind of passed this Jeremiah altar. And this thing cracks me up. I love that. It's so eerie, I should say. We have Jeremiah's altar where he's in a very Christ-like pose. They posed him exactly like a religious altar.
Saved today?
God. Here's what you do, Tiki. Have one says, "Have you been saved today?" And or not. That's what you do with him. Okay.
All right.
So literally, after just saying we're so then she says, I'm going to tear his throat out. She's got something on her mind there. I think Bruce is definitely troubled by this. Oh, God, she's not learned anything from the previous conversation we just had, man. She's right. They follow someone in, and then we reveal. There's something I'm sure some people have been really excited for. So then we reveal Echo. Echo as kind of Echo, who's it's so interesting when you really think about this. So thanks to Winter Ives here, you kind of confirm that at least a week or so has passed, a week and change has passed. And in that week, ever since the first episode, because the end of the first episode was we saw Echo, very normal looking. And this episode, we're going to see that she's gone. Some bad stuff's happened to her in a week. And in a week, man, she's become even more of a proto Harley than she was before. She was all together, and now
I'm really digging this. It's to me, this is almost it's less psychologically interesting than the whole idea of the Joker turning Harley Quinzel, but it's almost scarier.
More sadistic way of turning her versus kind of the psychological ways,
Exactly.
It's like a physicalized version.
I'm really disturbed by this whole thing. I really am.
It's like a physicalized version of transforming her psychologically, if that makes any sense. You're not going on the whole emotional damage of it all. You're going on the physical damage that brings out the emotional damage. That's kind of that's kind of the route they went, which is interesting.
Right.
Really. So Echo here, and she's wearing this very I like that already. I love how they build to her, kind of with the ultimate reveal here. We build to her as she's wearing this mask that, by the way, and I know this has to be a reference to this, the 89 mask, where in Batman 89, Jack Napier, before and after, he was sleeping with the girl, with the boss's girlfriend, Grissom's girlfriend, who was God, it was I'm blanking on her name at the moment. I'm gonna get it later on. It's like it's a J. It starts with a J or something. It's like Janie or something. Anyway, so the girl in that movie, she remember he after he became the Joker, he he disfigured her face. And we have that mask that she wears up until, like, kind of this Phantom of the Opera mask that she wears up until that point, until like it's revealed horrifically to Vicky Vale and the whole like, well, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. That's all. He crashes like the porcelain mask. I think it's a reference to that. What do you think?
You know what, Dragon? It's been a while since I've watched '89, so it didn't cross my mind. But I think you might be right.
I mean, like the mask and the whole disfigurement, the whole thing, honestly. But anyway, so basically, Echo here is kind of performing this initiation for people who want to be prospective Jeremiah followers, as she calls them, pilgrims. So yeah, there might be something like a Salem witch pilgrim theme to this season. Really must be.
We had that bizarro, like, oh, suddenly we have like 1800s villagers now in the last episode.
Yeah. And again, also what I was getting with the look, I like she's wearing these robes that are like half black, half red. So again, the Harley Quinn colors are coming into play, so that's neat. And of course, before like the ultimate reveal, so this sadistic initiation is about to take place. So Bruce and Selena, they're kind of sneaking in behind them. It seems mostly young kids, like basically young people are there. Most likely it's kids looking for shelter, and they're kind of gravitating towards Jeremiah, who like they're stuck in the dark zone, therefore they're going to the big dog, hoping they can survive. That's most likely what's going on there. I don't know if they're crazy from the start. They have to be crazy to say yes to this. I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle. Don't know. So, and this is the fascinating idea I love so much about this Jeremiah. So I gotta admit, maybe talking through this, I'm gonna be higher on the episode by the time we finish this, because again, I still love a lot of stuff in this episode. I really do. Where, Jeremiah's whole idea, the whole ideology I love that Jeremiah's not even in this episode. He has such a presence in it, where the idea is these followers are trying, much like Echo, are trying to become their best selves, and the whole crux of this is what Jeremiah was trying to do to Bruce in the last season. Jeremiah's whole philosophy, the whole Joker Batman philosophy, he's trying to help Bruce become Batman. He's trying to help him become his best self, and hence the reason he created No Man's Land, to turn him into Batman, essentially, which is fascinating. Again, kind of a Scott Snyder idea from Death of the Family, where I'm going to help Batman realize he needs to be a solo act again. That's what that whole story's about. It's a Joker helping him by doing horrific things to him. So that's kind of what we're doing here with Jeremiah, and that whole philosophy that Bruce is. My point I'm getting at here, all the terrible stuff that's happened to these followers, that to Echo, to all these people, is technically because of Bruce. Not his fault, but it's because of because of the relationship between Bruce and Jeremiah.
Right.
Fascinating stuff. That's the stuff I really digged in this episode. It's like, oh my god, that's phenomenal. So anyway, despite Bruce's protests, Selena she goes undercover as a prospective follower. And Bruce is taking the stealthy approach in the background. Because, of course, if Bruce is spotted, they're going to instantly recognize him. But Echo hasn't really shared a scene with Selena. Like, she doesn't know that, Selena was shot by Jeremiah and everything. She doesn't know what she looks like, presumably. So, before the followers get to meet their patriarch, before they get to meet the patron that is Jeremiah, they have to do a show of faith. And Selena wants in, and she has seen the work. And this is great, Tiki. Remember this bit? How Selena gets in the meeting. She says something to Echo where.
No, you're gonna have to. I'm a little lost on my notes here.
All right. Anyway, well, the point is, Selena wants in, and she says, I've seen, very genuinely, I love this, like Carmen Bacando, what she does in the performance. She has a lot of great moments throughout the rest of this episode here. She says, I have seen Jeremiah's work firsthand, and I will never forget it. Like, yeah, it's a good line. Yeah, she's never going to forget. Again, she's not lying at all, so she gets in the meeting, says, this way. And you'll notice Echo's informed by some other guy that recognizes her that's Selena. That's how she knows in the episode. I caught that on a rewatch. Like, oh, that's how she knows. Interesting.
Nice, yeah.
Then she removes the mask, and then we see kind of the proto Harley Quinn reveal of it all. Like, she's all made up like a deranged version of Harley Quinn. And again, she has that 89 scarring, and I mean that in the sense of, especially on a rewatch, I was able to kind of sniff this out. You can see chemical burns and like shaved eyebrows, and like her face is like she's definitely she's been tortured or by herself or by Jeremiah directly. I don't know, but she's been messed up in the face as well as in the noggin. So she's Alyssa. That's the name. Alyssa was the girlfriend from 89. Alyssa. It wasn't a J at all. It was Alyssa. Okay. Anyway, so Penguin. Penguin is locking Jim up in the back again. Now it's nightfall, so on the flip side of things, in the night, Penguin's locking Jim up in the basement with the supplies. He's gloating about how he's destroyed. Yeah, he's going to destroy the Haven. He's going to make Jim watch, and then he's going to shoot. And this is kind of a poetic fate here. I'm going to shoot you and leave you for dead like you did for me. Good revenge on the Penguins part. I gotta give him that. Like the whole like shoot him and leave him for dead thing. Like, yeah. Make him even Steven. I gotta give him that. So Gordon makes his point about like, if you kill me, the government's not gonna be happy with you. And again, Penguin says, look, the law right now in Gotham is power, which is me. Therefore, I don't have anything to fear from the government right now. They've abandoned us, Jim. Wake up. So then Jim makes up. This is a really nice bit. Jim makes a plea for the families, for the children, and Penguin says, "Well, look, probably, the gangs are probably going to put them back into slavery like they were. So that's what's most likely going to happen." So Penguin's just like, he says, ordinary day, I might take you up on that, but nah, I don't think so. Just Penguin's being a real prick about everything. So that's, just Penguin gloating when he can.
And then, of course, he goes to Edward. Oh, Jim's gonna die, isn't he, boy?
Which again cracked me up so much. Like, oh my god, he's gloating about his death to a dog. So, Penguin. So let's see. So, anyways, I'm sorry. The big grand point here. So, with all this is really great. Again, thematic bit. I really love in the whole episode. What the episode's about. Penguin, our hero. So, Penguin believes his people will see him as Jim Gordon, as the Grand Protector, after getting rid of Gordon. And basically, he thinks he's just going to claim this territory, and everyone's going to clamor towards him, and he's going to be seen as Jim Gordon. So I love that idea that Penguin is just still competing with the guy he's intrinsically linked to ever since the beginning of the series. And again, that's the thing I love this episode is kind of hinting at, that I think the next episode is going to go a little bit farther with, where you have these two characters who are, again, in opposite ends of the spectrum here, but they're competing with each other essentially. And all of last season started with Gordon competing with the Penguin. So now we start the season off on the flip side with Penguin competing with Gordon. So I think all of that is fascinating, and I love all that progression. I do. So then we have the moment with Mr. Penn.
Yeah. This was tough.
Yeah, it was. So Mr. Penn, he's being all chained up and everything he's being outfitted by the demons. And Penguin's like, no, he's mine. That one's mine. Of course, says, well, you got one of our guys killed, therefore we get one of your guys. Says, I don't care, he's mine. And again, it's something interesting about that, Tiki, because again, even at the start of this, as we pointed out, Penguin must really dig Mr. Penn, or again, he respects what Mr. Penn brings to the table, because Mr. Penn has betrayed him twice. Don't get me wrong, he's been apologetic both times, as he is here, but still, the fact of the matter is that Mr. Penn has still betrayed him, but he keeps giving him second chances. He must really like this guy.
The way I read this scene, Dragon, and I could be totally wrong, is I specifically read the scene as that he's mine to kill, as in, like, Penguin threatened to kill Mr. Penn if he flipped, and now that he's flipped, it's like, okay, like, I'm gonna really, really enjoy killing this guy now.
I'll give you that, Tiki. It's a very fair point. That likely could be the case, but at the same time, I'm just figuring that he forgave him that one time. Maybe I don't know, because it's a tender scene. Maybe he'd forgive him the second time. That was what I read into, but I don't think you're wrong at all with that. Though I think it's a good point. So Penn is shot. So he's shot by the demons, who then take over. And Penguin really didn't see the double cross coming on that one, because literally everybody left him, as in it's only him making alliance with a guy he just tortured, who now has friends, and more friends from another gang, from two other gangs even. It's 3 gangs versus 1 Penguin. Really not a smart move. In retrospect, but he was desperate, and again, his dog was kidnapped, so again, the Penguin just was not really thinking was not forward thinking. Again, it's all relative, folks. The street demons weren't thinking when they attacked the penguin. And now the penguin wasn't thinking and seeking out the help of the street demons. It's all relative, it really is.
All right, so really quick, brief eulogy on Penn.
Okay.
I don't know. We're gonna miss him, right? I feel like this is the second death of the season, correct? After Tabitha.
Yeah.
So I feel like much like Tabitha, he was a he was a supporting character who's been around for a while. Not as long as Tabitha, but I feel like he was more likable than Tabitha was. So I think his death makes sense from a storytelling perspective, and we'll certainly miss him.
Yep. Oh, here's something very interesting about Winter Rise is brought to our attention. This is very interesting. Winter Ives says that Andrew Sellon, the actor who portrays Mr. Penn, confirmed that his character was supposed to be the ventriloquist, but they had to make room for Bruce becoming Batman. Now, I'm going to take Winter Ives' word there, because I remember there were murmurs of ventriloquist being in this season. I would hope for that, because ventriloquist is in no man's land. It's really neat little bit in the book. Now, it's interesting, and I'm going to guess. I'm going to wager a guess here, Tiki. My guess is that when Gotham was planning their 5th season, they were planning for a full season, which would have allowed for the ventriloquist stuff. That's my guess, based on what Winter Rise is going to brought to us there. But that is very fascinating. I got to tell you, that actor, I could buy him as a perfect ventriloquist. I got to be honest.
I'm sorry, Dragon. I know next to nothing about the ventriloquist, so
just take my word for it. He's on the money
in
terms of ventriloquist is like a meek guy, and Mr. Penn's a very meek guy. So,
all right.
Anyway, I might have come a little out of nowhere. I will admit it. I would have been a little awestruck. Oh my god, yeah, he fits the bill with a ventriloquist, even though it's a different name. But it's if they called it Dull Mr. Scarface, it fits. Anyway, point being, Mr. Penn eulogy though. I always liked Mr. Penn's character. He had that one weird moment though. He remember he had the fetish in that one episode. It's just kind of strange, but it was there's the random. It was just out of nowhere. It had the whole adult baby thing going on there. It was like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
That was the one thing I don't want to just shoot anyone down for whatever they're into. I'm just saying it was just so out of nowhere. That's the thing that bugged me about
you know what, Dragon? I feel like that's it's just out there enough to fit in with the show's quirky sense of humor. So
that's the thing, because it basically just felt literally this, and it was towards the one of the big endings for Sophia Falcone. I was really, we're attaching the demise of Sophia, the defeat of Sophia Falcone with infantism, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. All right. So anyway,
then we get a great Jim Gordon moment, though.
You're right. But anyways, Mr. Penn, good character, we'll miss him. So yes, God, this is great. So.
So Penguin's thrown in the cell.
Oh wait, we forgot the line. Mr. Penn's last word, man.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mr. Penn, he has this delightful last word here, where he apologizes, and Penguin's saying, "Oh, you're such a fool. You should have stayed with me. Why didn't you stay? Why'd you defect?" And Mr. Penn's dying response is, "Everyone hated you." And he dies. I was like, yes, that's how you spell it out to the Penguin. His confidence dies. Saying, everyone hated you, you moron. So now Penguin, and this is the perfect commercial break. Penguin is locked in with Gordon, and we have this great line where Gordon says, "I take it that didn't go the way you'd hoped."
I just think, first of all, I love how it's revealed, because it's Penguin's locked in the cell, and we don't see Gordon at first, and then the camera pans over to Gordon, and Gordon is just so cocky. It's just yeah, you're right here along with me, buddy.
Yep, that's okay. Again, man, I love how these guys are intrinsically linked together. It's the moment like that, just it's great. It's just great. It's perfect. All right, so much later, and again, there's my emphasis on much later. So I have a problem with this scene. Just honestly, the whole idea as a whole, but this scene here, here's the thing. It's a fine scene, but it's just completely in this episode. Something doesn't click with it. We'll get into that. So Bullock, he's looking for Babs. Again, emphasis on much later in the day. I mean, Penguin was showing up around sunset. Now is okay. So now Bullock, way later, he has finally got to Babs. Barbara, she surprise attacks him with the knife, which is a good shot here where he says, "And you've gotten good at that."
I love how it's like this is just kind of like per the norm with Barbara now. It's like, yeah, oh hey Barbara, nice to see you too.
Yep. So you want to walk us through this conversation? I know how much you like this scene. You want to walk us through it?
I can't get dialogue right now, Dragon, because Hulu is currently on an ad. So why don't you start us off?
All right. Well, put it simply, we have this weird scene where Barbara gives basically she's faced with the very obvious thing that she should know about that from last episode. That, okay, Jim Gordon's a necessity in her war with Penguin, therefore she needs to help him. But apparently she forgot that last episode happened. It would seem. Because that's the thing. She needs the. We have this real. It's a good scene, which just really feels like it's what the scene calls itself out for being. Where it's kind of a nice little. It's a really neat little nostalgic reminiscence of season one, where she basically, it's like one of those moments where we call back, how far they've come along since season one, where she remembers, oh, I remember sane Barbara. It's like, what do we call that in the questions? Where they call back, oh, remember when you were, yeah, I remember, Babs, you were sane once, and yeah, and I was, basically when she was sane and boring, you remember that, Tiki, when Barbara was sane and boring?
Not only was she sane and boring, but there were like really baffling character decisions written around her.
That monster Victor Zaz, I'll never forget. And then Bullock, and then we have a really sweet bit with Bullock here. We were reminiscing on how far Bullock's come along. Basically says, the path that he'd be down without Jim Gordon. She said, "Oh, you're just a sidekick now." Says, "No, Jim Gordon's my friend. Without him, I'd be either dead or washed up, wishing I was." That's a good line. Yeah, it's showing the nice friendship between Gordon and Bullock. But then he brings up, about the Penguin. The minute he says Penguin, then Barbara remembers the previous episode.
Oh, Penguin. That's great. Okay, you see this moment with the Penguin stuff makes the whole scene worth it to me, Dragon. I love this moment where it's like, Bullock brings up Penguin and Babs is just like, well, you should have led with that. Let's go.
But Tiki, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. Here's the thing. It doesn't kill the episode by any stretch. It doesn't. But it's just something weird.
I love the timing of it, man. I love how it's like, it just goes from like playful banter to like, okay, triumphantly, like, all right, let's kick some ass. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It just still defeats the purpose of like, why does she not remember this? That she has like a whole alliance going on with Jim and everything. Weeks past, presumably she would know this.
No, I hear you. I don't know. It's just Aaron Richards delivers for me. It's whatever.
You're right. Hey, you're right. It's a fun moment though. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jim and Penguin. Oh, goody. So Jim and Penguin. We have this great reluctant team up between Gordon and the Penguin here because Penguin, he's blaming Jim for everything. This is all your fault. And he laments on, oh, they should have loved me. Why didn't they love me? Why'd they go to this place? This place is a pigsty. Why here? And we have this great, oh God, this is great. What he says, well, for one thing, they're far away from you. And this Penguin's like, these are two guys with such a rich history between them. Penguin's saying, oh, I'm sure you're really proud of yourself for that one, aren't you, Jim? Where it's just like, I just love how taken aback by like, oh man, he's just throwing shade at me, some pepper at me, man. So it's a little bit, like one of the few characters Gordon could be kind of like a funny banter with. It's the Penguin, It's like, it's just, of course he would be able to take. Like Gordon's not really like a jokey character, but he can get away with it with the Penguin. It's like making fun of him, like because it's great. So so Jim has a plan that he's put into action through Will Thomas. Basically, Will Thomas, he comes down showing the new conquerors, the new conquering gang, where the hooch is, where the alcohol is. While doing so, he slides him a knife underneath the cage. Unfortunately, Penguin intercepts the knife, with his foot before it reaches Gordon's foot. So the point is now Gordon has to convince the Penguin to help him. We have this great line though when they come down. He says, "Act normally. I know it's strange. Act normally. I know it's going to be a stretch for you." It's just like it's like
that's exactly what you're talking about with the banter with Gordon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like even in this life or death situation with his greatest enemy, he still has time for a little bit of like ribbing. a little bit of like roasting going on here.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like, I think Gordon, deep down, he knows, like, whether he likes it or not, they are friends on some level. He knows, like, at some level, like, yeah, I saved him, and I know he's done bad things. And like, part of me, deep down, he's, I kind of like him, deep down. Like, I have that. I can work with him. I may not love him, but I can work with him. Therefore, I kind of like him. It's like one of those things.
Uh-huh.
Like deep down. Anyway, so Penguin, he's gloating. He's in classic thing. Your Penguin, he gloats every opportunity he can, especially against Jim Gordon, the guy. Again, he's competing with Gordon so much this season here, and even season 4 is just gloating at him, like, "Hey, Jim, admit that I'm right. Admit that my licenses are the way to go. Admit that you're outdated." It's just basically that's the whole. He had the whole press entourage to just despite Jim Gordon, which is hilarious if you really think about that from season 4. So Penguin's gloating until Gordon uses logic against him, saying, "Okay, you get out of here. Then what? You don't have a gang. Everybody's turned against you, and we need to. You're going to need to take these gangs out eventually. So why don't we work together?" So again, they work together, and they pull an Emperor's New Groove, which is hilarious. Where they kind of go back to back to pick up the knife.
I kind of got a Last Crusade vibe myself.
No, that's the better comparison, but I don't know. Just thinking of like the whole back to back thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so Bruce, he's sneaking around. He finds a lot of dead pilgrims. Quote John Wayne.
Dragon, I'm sorry. Like I said, I was about to say, like, all this pilgrim talk reminds me of John Wayne.
And of course, it's so perfect. From one Wayne to another, one Wayne finds.
Well, that would have been a twist. John Wayne is the cult leader. Well, if it isn't my long-lost cousin Bruce.
I could go
there, pilgrim.
Now, I could go on a whole Preacher reference spree here, because John Wayne does, believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, and believe me, Preacher, by definition, is a crazy show in both good, actually, it's all good ways. It's all good, crazy ways.
Hitler, like, one of the most sympathetic characters on Preacher.
I know it's yes. However, yes, that's the thing. Preacher is a show that is clinically crazy, well, clinically insane, but in the best ways, like all the best ways. It's a great show, and season 3 actually has John Wayne in it.
3/4 of the first season, and for some reason, I just never got around to finishing it.
I'm sorry. How far did you get to it?
I think like episode 7 or so.
Of season 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, seriously, and now you have the whole Hulu thing to work with, and it's there, so you can watch it.
Fair point.
That's what you got to get. That's what you got to jump on. That's the next thing you got to. Anyway, sorry, folks, we're in sidetracked. The point is, season 3 of Preacher involves John Wayne in a very memorable part. That is from the books, by the way. John Wayne did factor into the books in a big way. Anyway, so getting back on this point, so we find a lot of dead pilgrims with a lot of bullets in their heads. I like the mystery that's kind of forming, like what killed them, like why are they all like kind of strewn, kind of all laid, like there's a lot of them laid down a hallway here with bullets in their heads. Like how does that happen? We have the reason for it. They're basically all disposed of in this hallway. So we go to this bloody pool area, like this. It's not Turkish, but you have like a giant, like emptied pool, I guess. And Echo, in her full kind of proto Harley regalia, like now she's in kind of like that, the very kind of like kind of diamond, black, half red kind of diamond Harley Quinn outfit. Like she's not the Jester outfit, but it's pretty much it's like an Arkham City look. If anyone's looking for the direct comparison, like the thing she's wearing in Arkham City, kind of.
Oh.
And I don't know if you noticed this, and I noticed this in a rewatch. I always thought in the marking she had like just a mark under her eye, but the idea, Tiki, it's so twisted given the reveal that happens with it. Her putting on her makeup, she suffered some brain damage, and because of that, she can't put her makeup on straight. Her eyebrow has been put on below her cheek because she can't get to the actual eyebrow.
Oh dear.
That's twisted, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting implications here.
God. Anyway. So basically we have the 6-shooter thing here. This is a great set piece for the action sequence later on, but I wish they did a little bit more with it, but it's great.
Idea, man. It really is.
So the idea is we have a bunch of 6-shooters here with 1 bullet, and the idea is they're all... The initiation is you have 6 shooters with 1 bullet, and it's basically it's a whole bunch of Russian roulette games going on simultaneously. They're all circled up, putting the gun to the other person's head. And on 3, They pull the trigger, and whoever's left gets to see Jeremiah. And we have this really creepy bit. And this thing was still freaked me out. And I don't know, the actress who's doing Echo, I think, what do you think about how she's performing this Proto Harley thing? Because now she's even more unhinged than she ever was before. What do you think about our performance on Proto Harley?
Yeah, I mean, she has a specific moment that we'll highlight coming up pretty soon that really, to me was almost kind of like the coming out of like, yeah, that's Harley right there. You can kind of pinpoint like, all right, that's it, man. Before that, she's fine. I just really the episode kind of like to an apex of her performance. That
sure. So she's counting like 1, 2, chicken poo, and then 3. The way she says 3 scares me. I gotta be honest. The way she says 3 legitimately does kind of scare me a little. So she says 3, and this is a great like commercial break moment here. She says 3, and then we just cut to we just quickly cut to Bruce hearing all the gunshots go off because it seems like Selena's a goner. It's like, oh my god. Then we reveal Selena. She we see a lot of them are dead on the floor. By the way, a lot of them are dead on the floor, and Selena she grabbed the gun before the hammer hit the bullet essentially before whatever her chances were enacted. So, and basically, it's a giveaway that she's not invested in the cause and everything. So now there's a lot of suspicion on her, and she's saying, "Look, I don't think it's worth risking dying over to join Jeremiah." And she's, "Oh, Curls here, Curls here is fit to judge us all. Is that right?" Just saying calling her Curls and everything. Essentially, what Echo's saying here is that Jeremiah's methods may look like madness, but we know they will be our we know they will be our salvation. So the rest of them get straight A's. The rest of you get straight A's, and you get to be reborn. And as this is happening, you're seeing Bruce now. He's taking out the goons. Very Year One style. I love it. It felt so much like Batman Year One, where you go in the shadow and he's just taking them out. We don't even see him take them out. It's great. Just boy, it's like when he takes out the SWAT guys in Year One. Anyway. So she's saying, "Oh, you don't want to play?" And we have this great and Tiki. This now I mentioned this to you. I think I mentioned this to you before, but just in case, because the first time really together, honestly. Gotham City Sirens, the whole Birds of Prey, but specifically Gotham City Sirens, it pairs together the big femme fatales. You get Poison Ivy, you got Catwoman, you got Harley Quinn. They all have a history. They're all buddy, but they're all gal pals, to say the least. And this dynamic that Selena has with the Proto Harley in this scene here, she says, "Oh, what? You don't want to play our game?" and Selena's retort here says, "If it's so fun, why don't you play?" Just that happy. Is that kind of that happy pappy response? Selena, that's kind of Catwoman having a sarcastic retort.
I can see that, yeah.
That feels like That feels like Gotham City Sirens to me. The real ones, not the Gotham.
Not Babs and Tabs.
No, I mean they're fun, but it's a different thing. So yes. So then we have the reveal. Is this what you're talking about, or are you talking about a little bit later on?
Well, yeah, the acting is, I mean, there is a specific moment within this reveal that I'm talking about. Let's build to it.
So, Echo reveals that she has played the game, and this thing, I don't know how it works, but I don't care, man. It's It's
a classic coveted Pixar. We don't care. It really is.
He says, I have, and we reveal that somehow the bullet, I don't know if it's a ranged thing, I don't know if it's a misfire. I'd like to factor in that maybe it's one of Penguin's dud bullets. I'd love to think that, but I don't know. That the bullet fired from the gun and lodged itself in like the back of one of in the temple, like between the neck and between the skull, essentially, right in between there, right in the back of Echo's head, and you can see this lump where it's been the wound is healed around the bullet. It's twisted, and that explains why Echo's way off her rocker since when we saw her at the start of the season, when she was kind of like the Harley Quinn ninja of it all in the first episode. So yeah, she's she's completely off her rocker. She literally has brain damage, and she says, "I can still hear it rattling around my noggin." Ping, ping, ping.
Okay, that moment right there, I can still hear it rattling around. That's fucking terrifying to think about.
And thanks to Winter Ives, who says Francesca Root Dodson. Yes, that's the actress. She does a great job here. Francesca Root Dodson. That's her Echo actress.
And the
yeah,
moment in particular that really disquieted me and was like, "Yep, that's Ivy," is when she just freaking takes the gun and just starts like firing it. Like just playing Russian roulette with herself, just so gleefully. Just fire. I think she fires it herself like 3 times. Or
she
something like.
does. Yep,
And like the timing on that, just her expression, it's also it's a great crescendo.
it is. Like, if you're going to introduce, like, again, I like that they took the opportunity to introduce their proto Harley, like fully formed proto Harley, because before it was like she was like kind of skirting on that. Now she's full blown. Like, that's our precursor to Harley Quinn right there, folks. That's a big introduction. Like, you see, okay, her crazy matches the Joker's crazy. Yep, that fits. She's firing 3 times. Selene's response is, "You're insane." And of course, like, no. And this is a great. Oh my god, I love this line here. And again, it's so true to the whole Bruce Jeremiah philosophy here, where no, I'm not crazy. I look death in the face to get to let the old me die. I look death in the face to let the old me die. That's the gift. And this is a very interesting line, Tiki. She says, "That's the gift Jerome gave me." She didn't say Jeremiah. She says Jerome. So, like, she knows, like, he was sprayed with the crazy stuff that unlocked his potential. That's kind of what it's so fast. I'm sorry. Now I'm just kind of discover this in a moment here. It's kind of fascinating, even more so when you think that Jeremiah's whole methodology is about unlocking potential. That Jerome did that for him. So again, it's like the whole methodology is built on his origin, which is unlocking the potential in others. That again, Bruce is just kind of claimed over Jerome. So that's very interesting. So then, of course, she reveals that she knows that she's Selena and the whole shebang there. And
there isn't a single part of Bruce Wayne's life we don't know about.
Oh yeah, his joys, his disappointments, his desires, and of course, his desires is a good line. Selena, it's a good line. And by the way, I love the whole transformative thing. The whole theme of like transformation it does kind of parallel what Selena's story is this season. The whole the parallel to the seed, kind of making her different. So it's kind of a neat little. That's her own transformation. Of course, the arc of the episode when she's kind of fighting Harley, kind of Harley Quinn. There, it's kind of neat. Good balance. Let's see. So you're not ready to embrace yourself either. Your true self either. Of course, this is anyway. So yeah, like Bruce, you're not embracing your true self again, like the whole Bruce Wayne motivation earlier on. Maybe, I'm sorry, Selene does this really great thing, really clever thing. I don't know if you noticed this, Steve. She has this really clever thing where she draws out the dialogue here so she can like get the advantage and steal the gun away, which is maybe Jeremiah taught me that I hate having guns pointed in my face. And of course, she knocks she basically gets the gun and basically she blocks the gun. And as it's lucky for her too, because like when that gun fired again, it fired like the roulette would have like again that fourth bullet would have killed her. Very lucky. So then they have this fight kind of break out there in the fight. Again, it's two very acrobatic people fighting each other. So that's a really good matchup, by the way. And we have like, oh, Puddin'. Okay, we have this great. Oh, Puddin', ain't you delicious? Aren't you delicious? Oh, Puddin', aren't you delicious? Don't call me Puddin'. Just, oh, boys. Oh, that's the big tell, folks. If anyone's like, I don't know if she's Harley Quinn. Come on, folks. Proto Harley Quinn. Puddin'.
Well, again, it's just the unfortunate kind of legal thing. I feel like it's like Jerome and Jeremiah technically aren't the Joker, but they might inspire the Joker. It's just that silly thing we kind of have to work around, Dragon.
Yep. Let's see. So we have this acrobatic fight, and again, here's the cool thing about the fight, Tiki. It's not only is it just like good matchup between these two, but importantly, I love the idea we have all these guns that are strewn about the floor from the people who have died, and where the guns were left when they left the room, and all of those guns, at least half of those guns, have the potential to have a bullet in it. So basically, there are points in the fight where like they're grabbing guns and they're just like pulling the trigger a couple times to shoot each other. I wish they did. I wish they kept that going for like a little bit more, but I thought it would have been a really good action set piece. But they do a little bit, so that's neat. So anyway, that fight goes on. As that let's see, so as that happens, Selena holds a gun to Harley's head here, and anyway, so yeah, that's it, Selena. All you need was a kick in the pants. Of course, we're flashing to her being shot by Jeremiah. So again, like that, we're seeing Selena's about to make a really big life altering decision here. She's gonna kill her and get revenge on the people that put her there. Basically, a point of no return again, kind of becoming like the people that put her in the chair. Well, put her in the bed, I guess. Then Bruce shows up, and Bruce, like the angel on her shoulder, like literally in kind of a higher ground situation too. He's like the angel on her shoulder here. So, telling her, like, drop the gun, Selena, don't do it. And Selena's distracted by this. So before she shoots Proto Harley, gets stabbed in the leg, which, considering all she's been through, like, oh my, ouch, she's been stabbed in the leg, man. That's
right.
So Proto Harley gets away, and like it's like one of the things where like the metal bars come down, a little dark, a little Death of the Family inspired, but it's a leap to say that anyway. So gates drop down, then she gets away. And now, like, Bruce, like, holding her, so, look, we gotta get you medical attention. We gotta get you patched up. Let me go. Let me go right now, Bruce. And what does she do, Tiki?
She handcuffs him.
Of course, the whole history of Batman and Catwoman. It's such a fun reverse when you think about it. Now she's cuffing him. Oh, God. Again, so poetic, the beginning of it all right there, we did it your way. Now I'm going to do it my way. So she leaves like, Selena! So Bruce is not happy, and this does not bode well for the kids in love here. It does not bode well for them. Yeah.
Give me a sector. I can just keep going through it.
Okay.
Through it.
So let's see. So then the gangs are planning to use the G-Slake, some of the slaves, and the kind of the people about to be turned into slaves, like the GCPD officers and everything, and they do cage matches, like they're basically trading slaves. As horrible as it sounds, it's kind of what they're talking about. Thankfully, Jim and Penguin, they come in to save the day, and basically Penguin, specifically Penguin, gets the glory here for blowing the gangs away. He literally shoots them all, saying, "Oh, he's bluffing. He's out of bullets." Of course, Penguin, no, he's not. Of course, with a big armed rifle, shoots the crap out of him. So then the GCP, Jim calls the GCP in as backups, and they're all surrounded. Therefore, some of them are dead, the rest are taken. And then we have this really great moment here where, again, going full circle. It's eerie, but it's kind of nice. Where Penguin, he gets cheered by the people. Again, they were so loyal to Jim Gordon. Now they're all cheering for the Penguin here. They're not necessarily all going to his side over Gordon's, but it definitely opens the door to that happening. Where they're all cheering for Penguin. And again, he just looks all basically the image we have before us here, folks. He looks all prideful and everything, and he's getting some nods in the GCP. And Gordon's not quite sure what to make of it. They're all like, he's getting cheered up like the hero that he wanted himself to be. So Penguin kind of and again, in a way, he's kind of become a little bit more like Gordon, doing the right thing in this situation here. So, and he likes the way that feels, hence the smile. So it's all good stuff there. All right. So then the aftermath of all this is the people of Haven are very upset with Jim because you said we were going to be safe here. It's like no fighting zone and everything. Literally in the beginning of the episode, we did this. And Jim gives a really nice speech. And one of my favorite speeches from the marketing, by the way, gives a speech about, look, we're facing hard times. We're facing hard days. Today was a hard day. And we're going to face more. I'm not going to say we're never going to face more hard days. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that, but there are more hard days coming. There are more hard days ahead. We're going to face more hard days. But now we have some of Penguin's guns. We have some ammo. Here's the line from the marketing I love here. As long as we survive, hope survives in Gotham. That's a perfect line for what No Man's Land's all about. I mean, just slap that on like a bumper sticker, like as a tagline for the season. That's perfect. So then,
sorry, I was kind of my bad. Just kind of finish this out here.
Right. So then Will Thomas, he backs him up and he says I want to survive. Like he backs Gordon, Then we have this really beautiful moment. Basically, Gordon kind of stirs the room, gets him back on his side here, thanks to this kid. And then he has this really beautiful moment where he admits to the kid. Again, Gordon having learned something from the episode too. He can't shoulder it alone. He's learned that, he's worked with Penguin and the kid. They both kind of came through for him and saved the day. And through the kid here, he says, he kind of exposits this lesson. And it's this beautiful moment where he says, you know what? Why don't you be, basically, he makes the kid a deputy by giving him his badge. Yeah, this is good because I'm allergic to pineapples. It's like, yeah, it's kind of the pineapples from earlier. It's just, well, this is much better because I'm allergic to pineapples. It's, I don't know, it's
maybe a little smile moment.
Yeah, it is a coconut smile moment. Maybe a little schmaltzy, but I mean, God, come on, it's such a coconut smile moment with a badge.
All right, Dragon, and then the ending. I honestly don't. I mean, obviously, like, oh my God, everything's on fire. But that's about all. I assume there's a bigger significance to it that I'm not picking up on.
I think so, but anyway. So what happens is Penguin. Penguin. He made this mess in the first place, but did the right thing. Therefore, Gordon's letting him go. Says he's free to go, and of course, and this is where my problem with the episode kind of comes into play, where we had to have a contrivance here, where now we enter Bullock with Barbara. Finally, like, where Bullock, it took you that long to get Barbara? Really? It took you that long? Right. I know we need her there for the dramatic point. I get it, and that's the thing. I'm not mad at the episode for that, but it just feels like, really, Bullock? It makes Bullock look bad. That's what bothers me about it. See, that's the thing. That's my biggest issue with the episode, where so far I haven't had.
Bullock and Barbara just went on some sort of weird bender.
Pretty much. So Jim's standing in the way because, again, he promised Penguin that he'd go free, and of course this is going to cause a wedge between him and Barbara. Like, she's like pulling gun on him, and Gordon, being a man of honor here, he's like not stepping out of the way. He says, look, outside the green zone. Right now we're in the green zone. You can't do this here. So of course she's getting ready for the kill. She's willing to kill him, and I'm not moving. And again, I love that. I love this moment though. I love where it's such a heated moment. Like, oh God, she's going to pull the trigger. She's not going to pull the trigger. And before she makes the decision, they're interrupted by Haven blows up. Haven blows up. All those people inside. So I'm sure at least half of those guys are dead, if not all of them. At least 75%, half to 75% of those guys are goners, I'd imagine. Place blows up, and Jim kind of gathered. And this is a great final note at the episode on here, where Jim, he sees the place in ruin. Hence the title of the next episode, Ruin. Sees the place in ruins, on fire, and basically survival is in question. Again, whole, like, if we survive, Gotham survives, and of course now all the hope that he just had, the kid with the badge, even all this hope that he just had, now in question. As a great musical score plays, just Gordon looking again. Tiki, if you ever had a screenshot that emphasized what Jim Gordon is as a character, guy longing for hope, but behind him is a building on fire. That's Gordon in a nutshell, right there. That's pretty much what the episode ends on. So. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where the episode ends. All right, so promo. Really brief promo. Promo, we had like the chaos after the explosion, so they're not all dead, so we know that much from the promo. We have some people coming out, like, in the chaos of it all. Gordon wants revenge. He's turning to the Penguin for some help. And again, this might facilitate where we're at day 300 and something plus. Let's see. We get a glimpse at Jeremiah, a little glimpse of Jeremiah in his white outfit, and we have Bruce and Alfred looking to stop Selena before she kills Jeremiah. So that's pretty much
very, very little Alfred screen time this season so far.
The next episode seems to be changing that. At least seems from the promo. All right. Speculation time. What do you got?
Bane is probably behind the explosion, I'm guessing.
Those are my thoughts, but Winter Ives seems to have a few other theories. Which, of course, by all means, let's check Winter Ives here. Let's see what he's got in terms of spec. We got a lot of good, juicy spec from the guy. So, first off, earlier I read an interview of sorts that stated that Jeremiah's plan will come into play before he even appears. And since, again, we kind of saw that with the whole followers of it all there, so a bit of that. All right, let's give me a second. There's a lot here. Okay. making me believe the rocket launcher was Jeremiah's, from earlier when the supply thing went down, along with the bombing of Haven. So that's a good theory. I believe it's Bane. I'm on the Bane wagon there, because I think the rocket launcher and the specifically the rocket launcher, but even the Haven too, because I think it's like Bane trying to conquer Gotham. That's what I think it's going to be. But Jeremiah,
at this point, we need to set Bane up sooner rather than later, because we've only got like 7 episodes of the season left or something like that.
Well, no, we have 12 episodes, Tiki. So
okay, still there's the number of episodes. There's a finite number of episodes left still.
I have a theory on Bane. Let me read through the rest of this before I get there. Okay, so B, the tunnels out of the city may have been Jeremiah's idea as well, considering that in the trailer he is building where the soothsayers were, which again, Winter Eyes brought this up. I don't know if I read it off last time, but Winter Eyes brought up that Jeremiah's building basically his locations where the soothsayers were in the dark zone. We know he's in the dark zone, so that makes sense. I just didn't quite pick up on. I didn't see that shot. I don't know. I guess I forgot that shot. Okay. Also, B, Will Thomas is not who he says he is. So again, I know Winter Rise is a big theory about Will Thomas. That didn't occur to me. I'm going to basically give my live reaction to it here, folks. We're going to see what it is. Okay, so the bombing had to have been an inside job, and I assume by a character that was already introduced. I discovered this theory from a little podcast, but I'm convinced. Ha ha. All right. Anyway, so Will Thomas thing. Will Thomas traveled through the dark zone to Jim's territory, even though it was still it was still on the west side of the island. So the point is, it sounds like the kid's story might begin. The kid might be playing Gordon there. That's what he's getting at. I suspect that Will may or may not have ran into Jeremiah at some point and was possibly ordered to plant the bombs inside Haven, or it could have been Echo. Basically, he's theorizing. We saw Echo in the GCPD at the start of the season, remember?
Uh-huh.
So it's possible that she could have been lingering around. Again, she kind of was able to slip into places. Maybe she planted the bombs, or the kid is in league with Jeremiah planting the bombs. A very interesting theory. What do you think about it? Do you think Will Thomas is could be a double crosser or what?
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, it was always a little suspicious that he managed to get all the way across town completely unharmed, right? So, I don't know. I feel like there's something at play. They're definitely keeping this kid around, right? He's not just like a one-off, like, plot device. So, yeah, I mean, there's something to it. There's something to it. I definitely don't think he's behind it himself. Obviously, it's someone coaxing him, either Jeremiah or possibly even Bane. But I think there's definitely some merit there. I think there's more to this kid than we've yet to discover so far.
Yeah, I remember we did have some suspicion with the kid at first. I mean, optimistically, especially after this episode, I'd love to think the kid's on the straight and narrow, but I mean, chances are it's probably not. I'm thinking Bane, though. Again, I'm not thinking Jeremiah, because I think Jeremiah is just gonna.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bane as well.
So here, look, let me hit you what I'm thinking with Bane before we circle back to the kid and the Jeremiah stuff. So on Bane, on the whole, here's what I really want them to do and what I think they're doing, optimistically. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Bane's responsible for Haven's destruction as well as the rocket launch from earlier, and we'll reveal this. Well, basically, Bane will have we'll show Bane like they're gonna. Gordon's getting revenge. Along with the Penguin, they're gonna look into like who bombed Haven. That's what the whole next episode is gonna be about: the place going in ruin, about Hope being destroyed, about things going into chaos. And at the very end of the episode, we're going to reveal that it's Bane. We're gonna get maybe our first look or our first tease at Bane. And then what we're gonna do optimistically, because episode 5, if I recall correctly, is Penadora. Penadora. Again, I'm hoping Penadora is going to be like, okay, we show Bane at the end of episode 4. Then episode 5, predominantly, if not in its entirety, is the flashback to why Bane's
flashback. Yeah, for sure.
Like, it shows you the whole, like, how Wayne Enterprises, making the Viper drug and the whole correlation with Hugo Strange. There's possible correlation with Hugo Strange that's been kind of teased up in that one trailer. Might have been just like a trick of the editing. Maybe Hugo Strange, who again worked for Wayne, who was involved with Wayne Enterprises through the whole Indian Hill thing. Maybe he was in basically maybe he created the Venom / the Viper stuff that kind of that made Bane the man he is, and he's going to Gotham to get more, quite possibly. But anyway, so that's what I'm hoping for, is that, again, like, introduce him, then we learn about the guy, then we introduce him, we learn about the guy, so Bane's like a lingering threat, then after we do our big Jeremiah story, then Bane takes over as the main villain. That's my main hopes for this season. I'm still of that mindset, and I just think we're still laying that pipe. And the kid's either working for Bane too, again, as him speculated, to plant the explosives, or the kid could be easily working for Bane, hence the whole tunnel play, like Bane's trying to get in through the tunnels or something. So again, I'm not thinking Jeremiah has a hand in this, because I just kind of want I'm kind of rooting for Jeremiah just to kind of be like a storm that just kind of hits like lightning striking Bruce Wayne, that we're tackling this through the Selina story. Like, Selina wants revenge against that, and then after sorry, let me rephrase that. Basically, I think what we're going to do with Jeremiah is a two-part thing. Where one, Jeremiah in next episode thematically would show this, since we saw Jeremiah in that quick clip. I think next episode thematically, not only is the building and Gotham's hope in ruin, but also Selina and Bruce's relationship will be in ruin because of Jeremiah next episode. And I think that's going to happen. So I think that's kind of half of the Jeremiah stuff we're going to do. And then the other half will take a respite from him, and it will come into play with the Ace Chemicals episode. That's the one that's the one I'm betting all the money in the world on. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be possibly my favorite episode in the whole series, possibly. I don't know, but yeah, so that's what I think we're doing with Jeremiah. I think we're going to do those kind of two things with him in the meantime. I think after this episode, I think Barbara's going to be holding the trial for the trial of Jim Gordon episode. I think she's going to have a bone to pick with him. That's definitely going to pay off there.
Oh God, that sounds like some early Barbara shenanigans.
True. However, again, again big set piece of no man's land, though. At least has more presence than the whole the whole stupid wedding thing from.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what's coming to my head. Dragon is the wedding when I hear like trial of Jim Gordon.
I'm hoping for an actual good version of it, cemented in the big scene for No Man's Land, where Gordon is actually on trial. So at least it's founded instead of just being out of nowhere. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. Let me see if we got any more live speculation, because basically that's what I got. Bane, the whole
I got nothing.
Let's see. Jervis Tech has to fit in somewhere too, says Winter Ives. And yes, we do know Jervis Tech will be in the season. I believe he's going to be in the Ace Chemical episode, given a quick glimpse we had at him.
Either that, or I feel like we're kind of building towards possibly an episode where all the major villains, like maybe a big crossover event at some point.
Maybe. Again, could be the trial of Jim Gordon, for all we know. They all show.
Of course, we haven't seen much of Scarecrow this season except for the first episode. So, that's why I'm saying, like, it could be like a big villain team up. Of course, we haven't seen any of Freeze or Firefly.
That's true. And again, my big theory with Zsasz is that Scarecrow is going to gas him and he'll just go full on Zsasz crazy. That's what I'm rooting for. In terms of like how we bring back Scarecrow, that's what I want to see. Okay, one last thing is, because you brought it up earlier. I want to call in question, and then we'll just get the final thoughts, I suppose. I gotta wonder. I was doing some thinking on a rewatch about the whole Penguin was here thing, and of course it could be Riddler. Riddler's the easy way to go, though. I think it could. Two things I'm thinking of. One, if it's not just the Riddler, Riddler's personality, or the blackout mode of the Riddler. It's not just that. It could be Bane making a calculated move to take the Penguin out, possibly.
That's true. I never considered that.
But I don't think that's it. I think that could be it. What I think it might be, I think what they're getting at, Tiki, and it's going to sound crazy, but I think what they're getting at is, I think it's Lee.
Really?
Because remember, Lee and Enigma, they're both on the table, and they both, remember, they're both fixed up, presumably having memory problems.
Yeah.
They have like that one very, very brief tease of Lee, and seemingly she's having memory problems herself. Seemingly, we don't know. I'm thinking it might be her, and I think their blackout modes are just trying to reunite the Riddler and Lee together again. I think in blackout modes, they're both kind of think about this team. I'm gonna throw this at you. This last theory with the Lee stuff. I think she's the one who's been like dumping his body places. I think she's been taking him. If he's not black, but imagine the Shyamalan twist of it all, Tiki. The Shyamalan twist of it all is.
Oh, don't get me started on Shyamalan.
Well, no, actually, I'm sorry.
Oh, motherfucker.
I'm sorry. Actually, wait a second. No, here's the thing. Actually, no, I have to dismiss that because now that I think about it, no, because remember the biker, the street demon guy, the Tank. Well, I hope he's still alive, by the way. Tank saw the Riddler, therefore Riddler is actually blacking out and doing things. So again, so she's not moving his body, but by the same token, I still hope I'd like to think if she's blacking out, maybe she's framing things and doing stuff that the Riddler would do. You know.
Uh-huh.
Oh, anyway, so that's all the last of the spec I got. You start us off with final thoughts, and we'll see if we get anything else, and I'll just give us final thoughts. What do you got?
Yeah. Well, Dragon, I'm sorry that I was not entirely active in this conversation. Obviously, I've been sick, as you know. I could have had more to say because I really do like this episode better than it might appear. But alas, I'm just very drained, and it kind of hurts to talk. But no, I think this episode is very good. It might not have some of the high highs of episode 1, but I do think it sets a lot of things up really well. It's some of the best Selena stuff we've gotten in the series, I think. And the Harley stuff is really creepy. The Penguin and Gordon stuff is really fun. Just overall a very enjoyable episode. I even like the Bullock and Barbara stuff kind of in spite of itself.
Yeah, right. All right, for me, this episode, I gotta tell you, again, talking through it, especially watching it, I think I'm higher on the episode. I'll admit, I do. It initially, I thought it didn't live up to its full potential, but I gotta tell you again, assuming they continue this with episode 4, with the whole Penguin Gordon thing, because initially I was thinking that we just kind of scratched the surface with it, but I mean, no, we actually did some stuff with it, and it's all still there. It's just again like so basically it's kind of like so long as we continue laying this pipe, I think it'll be good. And yeah, I mean again, Penguin is definitely a focus. We start the episode with him, and we definitely end on a big note that's thematic of where we're going with that. So I mean, I don't know, that did play really well. Basically, I think it's hitting these kind of higher benchmarks of the second episode. The second episode was just kind of setting things up, and this episode was definitely kind of starting to spice things up in places. Like if there's like kind of like an EKG or like a monitor or something, like there's like a kind of a blip on the heart monitor, if you will. It's kind of pretty steady, and then boop, big. Your heart's pounding like, oh my god, look what's going on here. And of course, like a few other moments like that. And again, those are moments I think compensate for. Again, they do compensate for like these logicals. Like, what is taking Bullock so long, man? But yeah, I mean, again, it's just basically like the worst thing I can say about the episode. Really, is that the reintroduction of Barbara's a little clumsy, and that's really about it. Though it's a little clumsy how we introduce her, but we'll see where it goes. It's stirring the pot up in a big way with that ending, and I really dig that. And I wouldn't chance it though. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't chance it with them going back to like kind of like a more kind of setting things up again. That's the thing I'm hoping they don't do in the next episode. I hope it's not all just like setting things up. I hope they're actually kind of like we're exploring stuff. Where like, I'm hoping next episode's gonna be a mystery story, like I hope it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be mystery before it's like set up. I hope it's like okay, what's the mystery here with a definitive payoff at the end of like okay, we know something now. All right. Anyway, this episode's definitely a solid one. I might adjust it a little rashly, but again, on the whole, still, so far 3 episodes, and pretty strong season, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say it's as strong 3 episodes in as season 4 was, but considering it's a condensed season, especially because it's a condensed season, I'm looking for really top quality episodes each and every time around. But still, I'm definitely enjoying it so far. It's very stylized. It's very different. Dragon, if anything, the one drawback I'm having with this season that fortunately might be getting turned around because of the Haven being destroyed is the whole man, this feels a lot like The Walking Dead. But that's not even really the show's fault because it's based on the comic book and everything, and I'm sure the comic book wasn't based on The Walking Dead. It's just kind of the cross wiring of pop culture going on there. But I digress. I'm enjoying it a lot.
All right, so that said, thanks to Winter Ives for informing me. I mean, Winter Ives, there's some major props to that person there because now we learned a lot. I think Tiki, I personally learned a lot this episode. I didn't know about the whole ventriloquist angle, and we got some confirmation. We got a little assistance there. It's we learned. So thanks, kudos to Winter Ives for helping us out in the comments there.
Yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm just kind of very self-conscious about my performance. So you know, I hope I didn't bore her or him to tears with with my very stilted delivery, Dragon. Like I said, I'm just thinking.
Sure. And again, folks, seeing more live commenters, the better. We love to shout you out. We love to say just a little kind of plug there. Seeing by all means, folks, like tune in. We have a fun time talking about Gotham, and I'm sure there's some Gotham fans out there. And it's the last season. Let's get all hands on deck. What? Why not? All right.
Not gonna promise, Dragon, but after Gotham's over, I would like to maybe Watchmen. Maybe Watchmen will be the next in line.
You mean the Watchmen show they're doing?
Yes.
Well, I'm down for that. You bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question if they're ever going to finish it. That's the thing.
Because you know that I love me some Lindelof, man.
Lindelof, yeah.
All right, the Loth.
Yeah. Okay, so remember, kids, however dark and scary the world might be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again. That's right. Jim's gonna die. Who's gonna die? Jim's gonna die.